Hello friends, welcome back to Young Wisdom. In today's video, I want to talk about something interesting, that is how relationships are built, how communities are formed, or how our relationships are built with other people, how our relationships are built with a romantic partner, how our relationships with our siblings, how our relationship with our family, how our relationship with our society is formed. Why even the need to build relationship with the society? Why even to build relationship with people other than us? So there's an old evolutionary idea that explains how relationships are formed, how communities are formed, or how societies are formed. So it starts something like this. There is always a formation of community, whether it be in human society or animal's kingdom. This is how it's formed. Each individual is dependent upon other individuals. So the two major mechanisms in the formation of society or community in evolutionary view is survivability and reproduction. First, let's take an example of the king of the jungle, lion. We know that lion would absolutely hunt any animal. But if lion is surrounded by a group of 20 hyenas, then there's no possibility for the lion to survive, right? Regardless of how independent and how strong that lion is. Those hyenas will tear the lion into pieces. So for survivability's sake, that lion would need another lion to rely on, right? And so the same thing is like reciprocal. It's like give and take. You receive a security or you receive a protection from your other lion friend, then you also give the same thing, security and protection. So as much as you need security, as much as you want to survive, so as the other. Same thing with human beings. We cannot survive alone. Although we don't go killing each other, so there's no threat for our existence because we human beings don't go killing each other except for few who wants to do that. We still rely on the society that we are in. We still rely on the other people around us for survival. How? Imagine a world where there are no farmers. Farmer is the least thing that anybody would love to be, because if you go on asking aim in life to school children, then even those children knows that farmer is the least thing that anybody would want to become. So there are bigger things, either a doctor or soldier, or they will choose other professions and not farmer. So farmer is the least thing that we want to do. But imagine a world where there are no farmers. Then human survivability is doomed. Because without farmer, human beings cannot survive. Like, what do we eat? Likewise, imagine a field. Imagine any field that is not helpful to other fields. Imagine any profession that is not helpful to other professions. So to survive, every human being would look for healthcare facilities, right? Healthcare services. Like that. There is an interlink between every individual, and every individual is responsible for other individual. Each one has a portion to sacrifice for the well-being of others, for the well-being of self, and for the well-being of society or the community that you are in. So in the domain of reproduction, each male needs female to mate with and to reproduce new offspring. So without reproducing new offspring, any animal species or human species would go into extinction. So for reproduction purpose, we rely on each other. That is evolutionary view. So first thing, for survivability, we rely on each other, we depend on each other. The second thing, so for reproduction's sake, to reproduce new offspring, we rely on each other. That's the thing. Now what's fascinating and what's intriguing about human beings when it comes to building relationship is we are not fully confined in the idea of reproduction and survivability. Human beings has a complex thinking and deciding beings, we are responsible beyond that. And what is that? Sometimes we sacrifice. Because without sacrifice, nothing can be established. There is no society that can be flourished without sacrifice. Every individual, every group of people has a portion to sacrifice. So, in human history, there is no society that has flourished without sacrifice. So when there are no sacrifice, there are chaos. So the alternative for sacrifice is chaos. When you do not sacrifice, there is chaos. And when there is no chaos, it's because every members of the society or every members of the communities sacrificing a portion of them. Now, where does this ideal figure or the ideal example of sacrifice comes from? This ideal example of sacrifice comes in the person of Jesus Christ. So Jesus is the arbitrary figure of sacrifice. So only when sacrifice is made, something is found, or without sacrifice, nothing can be established. So that is the whole idea, right? You don't excel in anything without sacrifice. You want to get good marks? You take time to study. You want to get better in whatever you are doing? You need sacrifice for that. So the conjunction between the present and the future goes like this. Any person who is serious about life, his present is always bound by his future. So anything that a person do in the present is always in reflection of the future. You sacrifice right now for the better tomorrow. So that person would not go for anything that is expedient, but that person would always strive towards something meaningful. So each person's present is bound by the future. And if it's not bound by the future, then I don't think you are living a serious life. So here's the thing, to establish a romantic relationship, each romantic partner needs to sacrifice something, right? Because there are a lot of things that I would love to do. There are a lot of things that I want to do. And when I don't sacrifice what I want to do, then for the other partner, for the other person, that is a mess. Now, a lot of studies shows that one of the predictor of stability in relationship is based on how much satisfied your present relationship is. Now, if you are not finding satisfaction in your relationship, like your present relationship, then it would also mean, or it would also direct towards the idea that your future relationship will not have the stability. Now, the other thing is, each member in the family has a portion to sacrifice. Like we as a children in the family has a lot to sacrifice. Parents has lots of responsibilities to do and has a lot of sacrifice to make. Now, when parents stop sacrificing for their children, what will their children become? So their children will become an individual who brings no value to the society, right? Who is not productive to other people, who is not resourceful to the society, who is not resourceful to self, who is not resourceful to the family. So to lead a flourishing society or community needs sacrifices, and that's where relationships are built upon. So the fundamental idea behind every successful relationship, whether it be romantic relationship, whether it be relationship within the family, whether it be relationship outside of the family. So every successful or every flourishing relationship is founded upon the idea of sacrifice. And without sacrifice, no relationship can sustain, no relationship can stand out. So that is why the ideal idea of sacrifice comes in the person of Jesus Christ. Really, sometimes you really have to give up for your future. Sometimes you really have to give up for the good of others. Maybe to do something is not in my best interest, and I would not love to do that. But sometimes what you want to do is not greater than what you need to do. There are things that I'm responsible of. That is why Dostoevsky stated this way. every man is not just responsible of his own actions, but also responsible for the actions of others. And what does that mean? It means that first, you be responsible of yourself. And when you are responsible of yourself, you know that you can sacrifice your present for your future. And when sacrifices in the present is made, then you have a better future. Now the bigger level beyond that is you make sacrifices for others, for your loved ones, for your friends. You can make sacrifice for your family. You can make sacrifice for your society. Right? And when you are responsible of yourself, the next steps that you will take is you'll also be responsible of the people around you. Then more steps to be taken, you'll also become responsible of the society that you're in. You will always have the moral burden in your shoulder to contribute to the society. You will always have the moral responsibilities in your shoulder to be a responsible citizen, to be a responsible person, to be resourceful to your society, to be resourceful to your parents, to be resourceful to your friends, to be resourceful to yourself. When sacrifices are made, there are bigger things to establish. And when sacrifices are not made, there are chaos. Because if life is simply for yourself, you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can be however you want to be. But it establishes nothing. It ends in a meaningless life. But if you have to live a meaningful life, then sacrifices has to be made. And without sacrifices, no society, no individual can flourish or can live established life. So as we are having a Passion Week, I think it's a very good time to retrospect and think about your state and think about if there are ways that you are not sacrificing, at least for yourself. And when you are sacrificing at least for yourself, the society that you are in, your family, the people around you. So a successful relationship or established relationship is only plausible when there is the idea of sacrifice, when sacrifices can be made. And no sacrifice, no relationship established, or no relationship sustains, and no relationship survives. Thank you for watching this video. If you find my videos resourceful, then consider subscribing and share it with friends.